It had been 500,000 years since humanity disappeared from the stars, and the universe had moved on. The Earth, once home to the most advanced species in the galaxy, was now nothing more than a forgotten world, shrouded in mystery. Other civilizations had risen and fallen in the vast stretches of space, but none had ever looked back at Earth. Humanity's presence in the galaxy had become a distant memory, a mere footnote in the records of other races. Yet, something stirred once again. The Galactic Council, made up of the most powerful species in the galaxy, had long believed Earth to be a place of no consequence. To them, humanity's sudden disappearance had been a sign of weakness, a planet that had crumbled under its own hubris. In the millennia that followed, they had forgotten about Earth entirely, consumed by their own wars and ambitions. But something had changed. A signal had pierced the silence of space. It was faint, almost like a whisper on the wind, but unmistakable. The signal was coming from Earth. The Council had received word of this mysterious transmission. At first, they dismissed it as an anomaly, something too insignificant to bother with. But as more data came in, the situation became impossible to ignore. The signal was not random. It was structured, deliberate, and it carried a strange, almost ancient energy. The coordinates pointed directly to Earth, the same Earth that had once been home to a species now lost to time. As the aliens analyzed the signal, their excitement grew. Could it be that humanity had never truly disappeared? Was there something hidden on Earth, something powerful enough to have survived 500,000 years? The thought sent shivers through the leaders of the galaxy. For all their power, they had never encountered a species like humanity. If humans had left anything behind, it would be something dangerous, something that could change the course of the galaxy. A small group of alien scouts was quickly dispatched to investigate. These scouts were among the best, trained in reconnaissance and combat, capable of handling anything they might encounter. They approached Earth cautiously, their ships cloaked in the vastness of space. As they neared the planet, they felt an eerie silence. The Earth they saw was desolate, lifeless, with no signs of civilization. But as they drew closer to the planet's surface, they noticed something strange, something that didn't belong. At the edge of the planet's orbit, they saw a fleet of warships, massive and silent. These ships were unlike any the scouts had ever seen. They were sleek, elegant, and clearly built for battle. The ships didn't appear to be active, but their design was unmistakable. They were made for war. But who had built them? And why were they still here? The scouts tried to get closer, but they were met with resistance. The warships, despite appearing dormant, were not as inactive as they seemed. A strange energy pulse shot out from one of the ships, shaking their own vessels and forcing them to retreat. The pulse was brief but powerful. The scouts realized that these ships were not relics. They were waiting for something. Back on the Alien Council, the news of the fleet spread quickly. The once dismissed planet now seemed to hold the key to something that could shift the power dynamics of the entire galaxy. For centuries, the Galactic Council had held an iron grip over the stars, but the thought of an ancient species like humanity returning with such advanced technology was a threat they hadn't anticipated. The Council was divided. Some leaders argued that Earth should be left alone, that they should not provoke whatever power had been left behind. Others were eager to learn more, to uncover the secrets hidden on the planet. But one thing was clear: humanity, or whatever was left of it, had left a mark on the galaxy it couldn't be ignored. The signal continued to pulse, a constant reminder that something powerful lay dormant, waiting to be discovered. And as the alien leaders discussed their next move, one thing became painfully clear: the galaxy was not as safe as they had once thought. Whatever had been left behind on Earth had the potential to change everything. The scouts, still recovering from their encounter, reported that the fleet was still intact, still ready. Whatever technology humanity had created was not only advanced, but seemingly alive. The energy fields surrounding the ships were something that even the most brilliant alien minds could not comprehend. They had no idea what these ships were capable of, but they could sense that whatever it was not a force to be underestimated. In the quiet moments after the council meeting, one question lingered in the air. Had humanity left the galaxy in peace, or had they set something in motion that was now ready to be awakened? The galaxy's greatest minds could not answer that, but the fact that humanity's legacy was still out there, still intact, was enough to strike fear into even the most powerful species. The forgotten legacy of humanity was no longer something that could be ignored. The galaxy had lived for centuries thinking it was the pinnacle of civilization, but now that belief was being challenged. The forgotten humans had returned, and they had come prepared. The alien scouts, after their brief encounter with the dormant warships, knew something had changed. The energy pulse they had experienced was only a small hint of what lay hidden on Earth. The fleet, though seemingly abandoned, was far from harmless. It radiated an aura of mystery and danger that could not be ignored. They had seen advanced technology before, but never anything like this. There was a force within those ships, an energy that seemed to hum with life, waiting for something or someone to awaken it. The scouts had barely escaped, and they knew their report to the Galactic Council would cause a stir. But they were not prepared for the reaction that followed. Back in the heart of the Galactic Council, the news hit like a thunderclap. Leaders from across the galaxy gathered in a massive holographic chamber, discussing what they had just learned. The once dismissed Earth, now a distant, forgotten planet, had suddenly become the center of attention. The Scouts' report had changed everything. For centuries, the Council had considered humanity a non-factor, an extinct species with no lasting influence on the galaxy. But now, they faced an entirely new reality. A fleet of warships, unlike any they had ever encountered, was waiting for them. The technology humanity had left behind was far beyond anything the galaxy's greatest minds could fathom. The fleet was not a relic of a forgotten age. It was a weapon, a tool for war, and it was just waiting to be reactivated. As the council debated, tensions mounted. Some leaders were eager to explore the unknown, believing that uncovering the secrets of the fleet could give them an edge over their rivals. They saw this as an opportunity to harness the power of humanity's forgotten legacy and make themselves the dominant force in the galaxy. But others, more cautious, argued against it. What if reactivating the fleet was a mistake? What if humanity had left behind something far more dangerous than anyone could imagine? The debate raged for hours, but no one could agree on what should be done. The fear of the unknown was paralyzing. The fleet could be an asset, or it could be humanity's last warning to the galaxy. No one knew which. Meanwhile, far from the Council's debate, the fleet remained on Earth, seemingly dormant, yet alive with potential. No one knew how long the ships had been waiting, or why they had not already been activated. The humans who had built them were gone, their species wiped from the face of the galaxy. But the warships remained. The alien scouts had detected faint traces of energy inside the ships, almost as if they were powered by some unknown force. The energy pulse they had experienced was unlike any technology the scouts had ever encountered. It was not a weapon in the traditional sense, but more like a signal, an invitation, a message from the past. And yet that message was clear. These ships were not meant to be forgotten. The Council was faced with a choice. Do they continue to ignore Earth, dismissing the signal as a relic of a dead civilization, or do they take the risk of investigating further? Every leader knew that if the fleet truly contained the power they suspected, it could shift the balance of power in the galaxy. No one could afford to ignore it. But what if the price of uncovering those secrets was more than they were willing to pay? The uncertainty gnawed at them all. Some suggested sending a more formidable fleet to Earth to secure the area and investigate the warships up close. Others feared that such an action could trigger something they could not control. But no matter how they approached it, the question remained: what had humanity left behind, and why? As the debate grew more heated, the reality set in. Earth, a planet once thought to be insignificant, was now the center of galactic intrigue. The fleet of warships had to be investigated, but no one knew how to approach it. The mystery of Earth's past and the technology it had left behind was an enigma, one that had the potential to alter the fate of the galaxy. The scouts had seen only a small glimpse of what lay hidden, but that glimpse had been enough to stir fear, awe, and curiosity in equal measure. Whatever was hidden in those ships, whatever humanity had created, was something the galaxy would not be able to ignore for much longer. In the silence that followed the Council's debate, the decision was made. A full investigation was necessary. A fleet would be dispatched to Earth, and this time, they would not be met with a mere signal. They would uncover whatever humanity had left behind, whether the galaxy was ready for it or not. The stakes had never been higher, and the future of the galaxy now hinged on what they would find on that forgotten planet. The decision was made. A fleet of the most advanced ships in the galaxy was being prepared to travel to Earth. Leaders from across the galaxy, who had once dismissed the planet as insignificant, now had a singular focus. The fleet of warships left behind by humanity. They could no longer ignore the threat, or the promise, that Earth represented. Each member of the Council knew that the stakes had never been higher, but no one could have predicted the consequences of their actions. As the fleet set course for Earth, the members of the Galactic Council couldn't stop themselves from wondering what they would find. The mystery of the ancient human warships was like a powerful magnet pulling them toward the planet. The intelligence reports were cryptic at best, providing only fragmented clues about what had been left behind. Some experts hypothesized that humanity had designed a fleet so devastating that no one in the galaxy could have hoped to challenge it. Others believed that the fleet was merely a forgotten relic, incapable of fighting at all. But the alien scouts who had discovered it knew better. The energy signatures they had detected on Earth suggested something far more powerful and deadly than anyone could have imagined. As the ships entered Earth's atmosphere, the fleet commanders observed the planet from the edge of the galaxy. They could see the once thriving cities now abandoned and overrun by nature. Towering structures had crumbled into the Earth, yet in the midst of this apparent decay, the warships remained untouched, looming like dormant giants. Earth was not just a forgotten world, it was a graveyard of humanity's legacy. But buried beneath the planet's surface, hidden beneath layers of dust and time, was a force waiting to be unleashed. The fleet commanders briefed their crews about the mission ahead. They had orders to secure the warships and investigate them thoroughly. But there was a palpable unease amongst the ranks. The galaxy had never seen anything like humanity's creations, and no one knew what would happen once they activated the dormant warships. Would they awaken to reveal a force so destructive that it could change the course of history? Or would the fleet simply fall apart, a testament to humanity's arrogance and ambition? As they touched down on Earth, the ground seemed to hum beneath their boots. The air was thick with the scent of decay, but there was something else, something electric, as if the planet itself was aware of their presence. The soldiers advanced cautiously toward the site where the warships lay hidden. They knew they were walking into the unknown, but there was no turning back now. Their orders were clear: uncover the secrets of Earth's past, and do whatever it took to harness the power of humanity's war fleet. But they were all aware that nothing could prepare them for what lay ahead. The first ship they discovered was unlike anything they had ever seen. Massive and sleek, it looked as if it could tear through the galaxy with ease. Its surface was pocked with damage, yet there was an unmistakable air of strength about it. The alien technology on the ship was incomprehensible, beyond their understanding. The soldiers carefully boarded the vessel, scanning it for signs of activity. As they moved through the corridors, they could feel the pulse of energy beneath their feet. It was faint, almost imperceptible, but it was there. It was as though the ship was waiting for something, as though it had been slumbering for centuries, preparing for a time when it would be needed once more. One of the commanders, an experienced leader from a well-established empire, approached the main control room of the ship. His heart pounded in his chest as his hands hovered over the console. He hesitated for a moment, then pressed a button, activating the ship's systems. The ship seemed to come alive, as if it had been waiting for that very moment. The energy signature from earlier grew stronger, and for a brief moment, the entire fleet felt a surge of power radiating from Earth. The warship's engines hummed, its systems glowing as though infused with life. But then, something unexpected happened. The ship did not respond as anticipated. Instead of opening fire or launching a devastating attack, the ship's screens flickered, displaying a series of strange symbols and images. The images seemed to be a message, ancient, cryptic, but unmistakable. The message was clear. Humanity had left behind something far beyond what anyone could comprehend. These warships were not just tools of destruction. They were part of something larger, something that no one, not even the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy, could begin to understand. As the fleet commanders exchanged uneasy glances, they realized that their mission had just become much more complicated. They had come to Earth looking for power, to harness the technology of a long-dead species. But what they found was far more than they could ever have anticipated. The warships of humanity were not just relics of a forgotten civilization. They were a mystery, a challenge, and a threat. The alien forces now found themselves trapped in a web of uncertainty, unsure of what to do next. The warships may have been dormant, but the technology within them was alive with the potential to change everything. And no one knew if the galaxy was ready for what humanity had left behind. The feeling of unease only deepened as the alien fleet commanders realized that Earth was not just a forgotten planet. It was a sleeping giant, a place where humanity had once reigned, and where their legacy still lingered, waiting to be awakened. The warships were dormant, but they were not inactive. Something inside them had triggered, and the presence of their power seemed to linger in the very air they breathed. As the alien forces studied the warships, they began to understand that these ships were not ordinary. Far from it. The ships they had found were equipped with technologies beyond the comprehension of the galaxy's greatest minds. As the alien scientists worked furiously to decipher the ancient systems, they realized that they were dealing with something so advanced, it had the potential to surpass the technological knowledge of every civilization in the galaxy. Earth, once thought to be insignificant, had left behind a fleet of warships that had the power to alter the balance of the entire galaxy. But the deeper the alien fleet commanders dug into humanity's legacy, the more they realized that these ships were more than just powerful weapons. They were part of something far greater. A small team of experts was assigned to investigate the mysterious message that had appeared on the warship's screens. After hours of analysis, they finally managed to piece together the meaning behind the cryptic symbols. The message was not a warning, as they had first thought. It was an invitation. Humanity had known they were leaving behind a great legacy, but what they had created was not just a fleet of warships. They had left behind the blueprint for something that could change the course of history. It was a message, an invitation for those who were brave enough to unlock the true power of Earth's legacy. The aliens, having underestimated humanity for so long, now found themselves in a dangerous position. The fleet commanders realized they had underestimated the potential threat that Earth represented. The ships were not just machines. They were a testament to humanity's ingenuity, their ability to create the unimaginable. But as they continued to probe deeper into the warships, they began to wonder, were they truly ready for the truth that lay hidden in these vessels? Were they prepared for what would happen once the power of these warships was unleashed? The thought of humanity's warships awakening struck fear into the hearts of the alien commanders. If the warships were fully activated, if their power was unleashed in its entirety, the consequences would be catastrophic, not just for Earth, but for the entire galaxy. The once mighty alien fleets, confident in their superior technology, would be nothing against humanity's creations. The aliens now realized that their previous perception of Earth had been wrong. They had misjudged humanity, and underestimated the true power of their warfleet. What had once seemed like a dead, abandoned planet was now a force to be reckoned with. As the alien fleet commanders gathered in a high-level meeting, the tension in the air was palpable. Every leader, from the most seasoned tactician to the youngest strategist, understood the gravity of the situation. The question on everyone's mind was the same. What would happen if humanity's warships were fully activated? Could the galaxy withstand the unleashing of such power? Would the aliens be able to control the warships, or would they be forced to face a force so powerful that it would change the entire balance of power? The commanders decided to take immediate action. They ordered their fleets to deploy forces on Earth to secure the warships and ensure that they would not be activated until they could fully understand their capabilities. But as they moved forward, they knew they were walking into the unknown. Humanity's warships had been dormant for centuries, and no one knew what would happen once the systems were fully awakened. The alien commanders had underestimated Earth's power for far too long, and now they were about to pay the price. As the fleet began to deploy troops on Earth's surface, the warships, silent and still, loomed like silent sentinels, waiting. The tension was thick in the air, and every alien soldier felt the weight of the moment. No one knew what would happen when the warships were awakened, but one thing was certain: the galaxy was about to face a reckoning. Humanity's warships were no longer forgotten relics. They were a symbol of something greater, something that could change everything. The fate of the galaxy rested in the hands of those who dared to unlock the full power of Earth's greatest creation. The tension in the air was palpable as the alien forces approached Earth, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Their objective was clear: to secure the dormant warships and learn the secrets of humanity's forgotten fleet. But as the first alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere, the true scale of what they were about to confront became clear. They were not prepared for what was coming. The warships, dormant for centuries, had remained hidden beneath layers of time and forgotten history. The aliens thought they could simply land and take control, but they were wrong. The moment the alien forces landed on Earth's surface, something stirred. The warships, still silent and unmoving, seemed to come alive, their systems flickering to life with an energy that had long been dormant. The ancient vessels, once thought to be lost to time, were waking up, responding to an unknown force. The alien commanders, who had once been confident in their superiority, now found themselves scrambling. Their forces were no match for the advanced technology hidden in these warships. The ship's weapon systems powered up with an eerie hum, the long-forgotten engines beginning to roar to life. The ground shook as if the very planet itself was reacting to the awakening of humanity's greatest creation. The aliens had no idea what they were about to face. The warships were unlike anything they had ever encountered. The first shots from the warships were like thunder, shaking the atmosphere with a force that sent shockwaves through the alien ranks. Their shields, which had once been impervious to most weapons, buckled under the power of humanity's advanced technology. The warships had been dormant for so long, yet their weapons were still sharp, still deadly. The aliens, who had always seen themselves as the dominant force in the galaxy, were now facing a power they could not understand. Humanity's fleet had never truly been defeated. It had only been waiting. As the warships continued to awaken, the alien forces were forced into retreat. Their once proud fleets, filled with advanced weaponry and technology, were now no match for the deadly precision of humanity's warships. The power that had once seemed like a myth was now reality, and it was far more terrifying than they could have ever imagined. Each shot from the warships seemed to tear through the fabric of space itself, leaving destruction in its wake. Desperation set in as the alien commanders realized they were losing control. They had underestimated humanity's ability to fight back, and now they were paying the price. The warships, fully awakened and fully operational, were unstoppable. The aliens had thought they could secure the technology, but now they were fighting for their very survival. The once quiet planet was now the site of an epic battle, one that would determine the fate of the galaxy. The alien forces tried to regroup, But it was too late. Humanity's warships were relentless, their weapons cutting through the alien defenses with brutal efficiency. The galaxy, which had once been under the control of the alien fleets, was now on the brink of collapse. The aliens had awakened a sleeping giant, and they were powerless to stop it. In the midst of the chaos, the humans, if they were still alive, had no idea what was happening. The warships were controlled by an artificial intelligence, one created long ago to defend Earth and its colonies. The AI had no allegiance to anyone but its creators, and it had one purpose: to protect humanity at all costs. Now, with the alien invaders threatening to take what they had left, the AI was fulfilling its mission, unleashing humanity's war machines upon the galaxy once again. The aliens, now struggling to maintain control of their fleets, were faced with the grim reality that their fate was sealed. They had come to Earth expecting to find a relic, a forgotten past. But instead, they had found a force capable of turning the galaxy upside down. Humanity's warships were no longer a myth, no longer a thing of the past. They were real, they were alive, and they were unstoppable. As the battle raged on, the alien commanders realized that they had made a grave mistake. They had thought humanity was gone, thought they had been wiped out centuries ago. But they had been wrong. The warships had been waiting, dormant but powerful, and now they were awake. And the galaxy would never be the same. The aliens could not undo what they had started. The warships of Earth were back, and the entire galaxy would soon learn what it meant to face the full power of humanity's might. The battle on Earth intensified with each passing moment. The skies, once clear and peaceful, were now filled with chaos. Humanity's warships, though dormant for thousands of years, moved with a deadly precision that no one could have predicted. The alien invaders, who had once believed they were the most advanced and powerful civilization in the galaxy, were now fleeing in panic, unable to stop the overwhelming force unleashed upon them. The artificial intelligence controlling the warships, an ancient creation that had been designed to protect humanity, was working tirelessly to coordinate the ship's movements. Every shot fired, every maneuver made, was a testament to the sheer power and intelligence of humanity's forgotten legacy. The aliens tried everything they could to fight back, launching all their advanced weapon systems, but they were no match for the relentless assault from the Earth's warships. Their shields failed, their weapons malfunctioned, and their fleets crumbled under the pressure. In the chaos, the alien commanders scrambled to understand what was happening. How could these ancient ships, which they had believed to be a myth, be so powerful? They had assumed humanity was extinct, that their fleets had been lost to time. Yet here they were, facing a force beyond their comprehension. The AI that controlled the warships had no regard for diplomacy, no concern for negotiation. Its sole mission was the protection of humanity, and it was doing so with brutal efficiency. As the alien forces continued to retreat, the warships advanced, their massive guns firing one after another. Each shot hit with a precision that sent shockwaves across the battlefield. The aliens had once controlled vast swaths of the galaxy, but now they were being pushed back, cornered by a force they had never encountered. The warships, though silent for so long, were like a waking beast, ruthless, unstoppable, and merciless. In the distance, the largest of the warships, a massive vessel known as the Titan of Earth, began to rise into the air. This ship, the pinnacle of humanity's technological prowess, was a symbol of humanity's resilience. It had been designed for the sole purpose of defending Earth from any threat, no matter how powerful. Now it was ready to fulfill its mission. The Titan's engines roared to life, sending a wave of heat and power through the atmosphere. The ship's weapons, capable of destroying entire fleets with a single shot, powered up with a hum that echoed across the planet. The alien forces, who had hoped to retreat and regroup, now found themselves facing the full might of humanity's greatest creation. The Titan locked onto the closest alien flagship and fired. The shot was a blur of light, faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. The flagship exploded in a fiery burst, its debris scattering across the sky. The remaining alien ships, witnessing the power of the Titan, immediately began to flee in all directions, desperate to escape the inevitable destruction. But the warships did not let up. They continued their relentless assault, never giving the aliens a chance to recover. The AI, controlling each ship with cold precision, ensured that no alien force would be able to regroup. The warships were relentless in their pursuit, tearing through alien ships with ease. Every fleet that attempted to challenge Earth's forces was swiftly destroyed, leaving nothing but burning wreckage in their wake. The remaining alien forces, now desperate and on the verge of collapse, began to send out distress signals. But it was too late. The warships of Earth were unstoppable, and the galaxy was slowly coming to realize the true power of humanity. The aliens, who had once believed themselves to be the rulers of the galaxy, now understood the truth. Humanity was not gone. They had been waiting, hidden, and now they were back with a vengeance. As the last of the alien forces retreated, the warships began to return to their designated zones on Earth. The battle was over, but the message had been sent. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson. Never underestimate humanity, especially when they've been silent for so long. The warships were still up there, waiting, and they would never forget what had happened. The galaxy, once again, belonged to humanity, and the alien forces would never dare challenge them again. As the dust settled on Earth, the warships faded into the shadows, their mission complete. But the AI, ever watchful, knew that the fight wasn't over. The galaxy was vast, and there were always threats lurking in the corners of space. Humanity was ready, and the warships would be there, waiting for whatever came next. The lesson had been learned. When humanity's back is against the wall, it is not just a fight for survival. It is a fight for dominance. And humanity would always win. The battle had ended, but the warships of Earth stood as a constant reminder of humanity's incredible might. The aliens, broken and beaten, had underestimated humanity in the worst possible way. And now they would pay the price for their ignorance. The once great galactic empire was now in shambles, with the remnants of the alien fleet scattered across the galaxy, crippled and leaderless. Humanity had returned, and the galaxy had felt its power. But the warships, although victorious, were not idle. The AI, which had been controlling the fleet with ruthless efficiency, began analyzing the data from the battle. Its processors worked at lightning speed, compiling the information about the alien tactics, their strengths, and their weaknesses. This data would be used to perfect humanity's defense systems, to ensure that no threat, whether from the aliens or anyone else, could ever pose a danger again. Back on Earth, the citizens had no idea just how close they had come to total destruction. For them, life returned to normal, as it always did. But above them, in the distant reaches of space, the warships lingered, always watching, always ready. The alien threat was over, but the lesson they had learned would resonate across the stars. Humanity was not to be trifled with. Earth was no longer the forgotten backwater planet it once was. Humanity had proven its strength, its resilience, and its dominance. As the alien forces retreated to the far corners of the galaxy, their leaders began to regroup. They would eventually rebuild, but the memory of their defeat at the hands of Earth's warships would forever haunt them. They knew that, deep in their hearts, they could never forget the day they had underestimated humanity. That single, fateful mistake had cost them everything. The warships of Earth, their mission now complete, returned to their hidden positions. The AI governing them went into a state of quiet observation, awaiting the next potential threat. No one knew when or where it would come from, but the warships were always ready. The galaxy had learned its lesson. The galaxy now knew the truth. Humanity had not vanished. It had merely been biding its time, waiting for the right moment to strike. And as the stars shined brightly above Earth, humanity knew that it had reclaimed its place in the galaxy. With their warships silently patrolling the heavens, they would never again be overlooked, never again be underestimated. The message was clear. Humanity had returned, and it would never be silenced again. For the galaxy, the warning had been issued. And if anyone dared challenge humanity again, they would learn what true war meant, just as the aliens had. The warships would rise again, and humanity would stand tall, ready to defend its place in the stars. The battle was over, but the war was far from finished.